Content creation, Madam Speaker. These are people who are very poor, Madam Speaker. The Kenya Kwanza government campaigned on a platform of bottom up. Did this bottom up meaning stealing money from the bottom and feeding the up? Madam Speaker, the content creators, for them to earn a living, somebody must have viewership of around 3 million for this person to earn 10,000 Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, is this really fair, Madam Speaker, to punish Kenyans? Because number one, the Kenya Kwanza government promised 1 million jobs within the first year. They never delivered. They're already punishing poor Kenyans. Number two, Madam Speaker, the same content creators who are getting jobs on their own are also being punished for creating jobs for themselves.
And seeking to amend clause 7, and the justification for this, Madam Speaker, is that this tax, which is put at 5% and which was dropped from 15%, literally targets the very people whom we are calling the hustlers. Madam Speaker, the content creators, the ones that we seek to remove or ask to pay the 5%, are not the sort of persons that my good friend, Honorable KJ, refers to as professionals. It takes quite some time to develop content. And content creation, even after you have been able to develop, takes time before you get to the next content, and to take away 5% from you, from this hustler, from that person whom we have set digital corners and ICT hubs in Mathare and everywhere, to take away 5% from them. 5% is to impoverish these people and to put them in a situation where during these hard economic times, during these times when the economy is struggling, as we all admit that it is struggling, we ought to have staggered this and put them in a band in which we are able to say that people who are earning below 500,000 on content creation ought to have been exempt. So that we begin by saying, if you're making money on digital content beyond 500,000 to 1 million, you pay X amount. If you're making digital content, like my good friend Jalash, and you're earning 3 million from digital content, then you're able to pay X amount. But to put a blanket figure on that person in my constituency in Mathare, who makes 50,000 on a content, 100,000 on a content, and has to wait for another 3 months to be able to develop content to earn another money, is punitive at a time when the economy is struggling, and this hits at the very core, at the very heart of the hustler nation. And so I'm trying to persuade us that we drop this particular and exempt the people that are affected by this. I move, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support the amendments by Honorable Oluoch on content creation exemption. And I want to say this as a member of the Committee for Communication, Innovation and Information. It is unfair to start imagining imposing tax on what we have not achieved as a country in digitalizing socio-economic empowerment for the youths, which is an opportunity for their job creation. Madam Speaker, I rise to support the amendments because in the first place, even the proposal in provision of the ARE technology in the constituencies has not been measured to be effective. Madam Speaker, I rise to support that even the content creators are struggling, and the small space that they've secured within the market, they are fighting to get that to sell the commodities or to ensure that other aspects are done. The same government has not laid out the framework to ascertain the level of achievement and success in digitalizing and providing for the ARE. Some of them them are struggling with bundles and internet. Madam Speaker, I support the content creators must not be subjected to this tax. At other amendment places, we must consider all the facts which are relevant. Let us stop pretending, let us not tax everything and go by the support, the proposal of Honorable Oluoch. I support.
I'll give a chance to the chairperson of ICT committee, Honorable KJ.
Madam Chair, this amendment could never have been brought by a better person than the honorable member from Mathare. The part that we are not telling about this content creation digital tax is the journey that we have walked. Madam Speaker, the proposal by the Committee on Finance seeks to do two things. One is to bring equity. This is the house that has been mandated by the country to ensure that there is equitable distribution of resources, but also an equitable carrying of the burden. Madam Speaker, every profession in this country pays tax, Madam Speaker. Every profession is taxed at a certain rate. The journey that we have walked, Madam Speaker, in the time when, from when the proposal was made, is that this tax has actually been reduced from an up of 15% to where we are now at 5%. And the argument we made, we who are concerned about the real content creator, the argument was that they cannot be inequitably taxed. If other professions are being taxed at 5%, then digital content creators should also be taxed not more than 5%. So, Madam Speaker, the truth of the matter is that there has been a 15% reduction from the proposal to where we are. Madam Speaker, I stand to support.
Thank you. I now put the question that clause 24 be amended as proposed by Honorable Anthony Oluoch. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Yeah. The nays have it. Chairperson Finance, you can now sum up all the moved amendments, yes, including...
Honorable Chair, I really want to thank all the members that have proposed amendments on this particular clause. But really, I am loving the discussion you're having in this country about digital content creators, because this was a profession that nobody was talking about. But this particular proposal have actually made that we have spent the last 1 hour talking about something called digital content creation, which means everyone across the country is asking themselves what this is, and therefore we are having to start having a sober and open conversation about this particular sector. A quick comment on the two proposals, the advanced tax on vans and now this digital content creation, Honorable Speaker. That primary school teacher who sacrifices his time to go and teach ECD children, that nurse who spends very many hours in the theater or taking care of patients in ICU, that medical doctor who spends hours on end doing operations, they all pay their rightful share of tax. So it's just saying, let everybody pay their rightful share of tax. Because we have been unfairly targeting employed people, so that the employed people are the only ones who are paying taxes.
Yeah.
But now let us have
Chair,
everyone there.
Yes. Honorable Chair, yes, help us to sum up the exact amendment.